Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Lucky Cement's analyst briefing for first half FY25. My name is Arslan and I will be moderating the Zoom session. I have with me ED Finance CFO Mr. Atif Kaludi. He will brief you about the company's outlook and performance. So I would like to request Atif Saab to please.
जी Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome all analysts and everybody. Thank you for joining the meeting. अरसलान थोड़ा सा इसका आप व्यू सही कर लेंगे प्रेजेंटेशन. आई थिंक जो आप नज़र आ रहे हैं वो आप ऑफ करते हैं, उसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है. प्रेजेंटेशन को कुछ करके मैक्सिमाइज कर दें बिकॉज मुझे भी बहुत छोटी नज़र आ रही है. No, I can't see it.
Sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir,
that's fine. If that's the best we can do, that's fine. Fine. So that's our product portfolio, and lists are aware of this. You can go on to the next slide. Okay, so Alhamdulillah, another very good quarter and half year for Lucky Cement and its group companies. Lucky Cement's standalone results as well as the consolidated results, mashallah, continue to grow despite a lot of economic headwinds and challenges across most of our business segments. The financial results continue to outperform on a quarter-on-quarter basis. What's been happening, the bigger things I've tried to mention over here. So the first things first, we announced a stock split earlier this morning based on a board meeting yesterday, based on which every share will be divided into 5 shares. And as we've communicated, and for other stock splits that have happened in the past, locally as well as internationally, the main reason for stock splits is to improve the liquidity of the share in the market, attract more retail investors towards it, make it more accessible to smaller investors. And what happens is that because of our previous buybacks, the free float in the market, which had reduced, there could be a possibility that the global indices that track the global fund that track indices, they have a criteria of liquidity for which, on the basis of which they include your script into their index. So to keep yourself liquid and have yourself included in those indices, it is necessary that your stock remains liquid and उसका turnaround अच्छे से अच्छा, उसका turnover अच्छे से अच्छा हो. So that was the idea behind it. If you have any other questions, we can look at it at the end. Other than that, the big thing that happened during the quarter was that we declared commercial operations for our Karachi captive wind power project, which was a 28.8 megawatt power project, which has been completed at a cost of around 9 billion rupees. Mashallah, as of today, our total capacity in terms of conventional and renewable energy, and by renewable I mean solar, wind, and the waste heat recovery, that constitutes 55% in our total power mix. So that's not only important for the to keep the cost of production in control, but also to make the operation sustainable for a long term and environment friendly also. In terms of volumetric dispatches, the increase is primarily attributed to exports because domestically there is a challenge on the pricing and demand side, due to which the volumes are comparatively depressed. Lucky Electric, mashallah, it maintained 100% availability during the first half. Then our foreign cement operation, all three locations, Samawa, Basra, and Congo, they continue to perform at very high capacities and efficiencies, and it continues to add to our bottom line. Next slide, please. So domestic sales, our domestic sales was down by 14%, and our domestic share is down to 16.4% because of competitive forces coming into play. The industry is obviously significantly underutilized as far as capacity is concerned. So that is putting pressure on the price. And apart from that, because the demand is depressed, that's a double whammy right now. But because of our the measures taken by us in form of investment in renewables, investment in new lines, so our consumption of coal that remains on the lower side as compared to other industry players, and our power cost remains very competitive because of investment in renewable energy. So our profitability has that's why sustained. But this is I would say a very big challenge right now in terms of not being able to utilize the full capacity of the plant and the drop in cement prices. So in terms of exports, mashallah, we continue to sell good volumes. The key export destinations are mainly Africa, then we have Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. So those are the key destinations we are exporting cement and clinker. So this year we exported 1.8 million tons for the half year, versus only 0.9 million tons last time. So that's almost 100% increase. Whereas the remaining industry this time around exported 3 million tons. So our market share has increased to 38% from 26% last time. Next, please. So staff revenue continue to grow mainly because of increase in cement prices as compared to last half year. But the cement prices started to take a dip, especially in the north, towards the end of second quarter. So that we'll see a reflection of that in the next quarter. But this time around, the revenue is higher by around 8%. EBITDA, I would say primarily the EBITDA was lower this time, mainly because of somewhat pressure on margins, as I mentioned, because of the decrease in prices in North, and also the fact that exports in terms of volumetric does not add a lot to the bottom line. So while the volume has increased, it did not contribute to the EBITDA. PAT was more or less the same because in PAT you have other income. We had some dividend income plus income from surplus funds, so we were able to manage the more or less the same PAT as last 6 months. So consolidated figure all across, our subsidiaries continue to perform, whether it is Lucky Motors for autos and mobile, Lucky Electric for power generation, as I mentioned, that continued 100% availability. Then LCI did very well in its polyester and other pharmaceutical segments. Soda ash was somewhat challenging, but the results of other segment offset that. So that's about it for our group profitability stands at 43.5 billion rupees versus 38 billion rupees last time. So outlook for cement, I would say the demand will continue to be a challenge because in this 5 to 6 months that are remaining, you have 2 Eids, you have Ramzan, and so let's see how the demand pans out, because as of the 6 month end, we are approximately down by 12 to 14% versus last year. So we may be able to catch up some of it, but I think we will end in the negative zone for the full year. Chemicals, all our other sectors, and apart from the power segment, they will continue to track the economy, whether it is chemical or autos, the decline in interest rates will boost consumer demand. But that impact, we feel that it is still a couple of months away from now. Arslan, is there anything left on the following slides, or we are done, right?
Yes, sir, we are done.
Okay. So let me know the questions.
If you have any questions, please type in the chat box. I have received some questions, so I'll start.
So Archana, the normally the questions that I normally get, especially the factual aspect, let me address that first. So as far as the local retention is concerned, north-south average, that was 16,000 rupees a ton this outgoing quarter, and it was more or less the same in the first quarter, because there have been several ups and downs in prices. So basically, over the half year, it has averaged out, and for the half year, we are at 16,000 for north south on an average basis. Then our export retentions for Afghanistan are around 9,000 rupees. And our cement and clinker that is going from the southern plant from Karachi, cement is averaging around $41 a ton, and clinker is at around $30 a ton. In terms of renewable, I've mentioned that in terms of our ability to generate renewable energy on an annual basis, our percentage is 55%. But because you have different periods of high and low sunlight and high and low winds, so if I talk about only December, just to give you an idea, so our north plant operated at 42% renewable capacity, and our south plant operated at 56% renewable capacity. That was mainly because there's a huge wind capacity installed at our south plant for 28.8 megawatts, whereas for our north plant, we only have solar installation. Then, as far as coal costs are concerned, for the first quarter, average coal cost, including north, south, Afghan, local, US coal, and all other Tanzanian coal, and everything all mixed, was 37,000 rupees for first quarter. It has dropped to around 35,000 rupees in the second quarter. So that's the dip that we've seen. And in terms of mix, if you want to understand, so what we are doing is it makes sense for the south plant to use imported coal like the US and the Tanzanian. And for the north plant, the tilt is more towards local and Afghan coal. Okay, Arslan, now you can share the questions with me.
I have received some questions via chat, so I'll read it out. Cement prices have declined significantly in last 5 months. At what level they will sustain? What's your outlook on cement prices in north and south?
No, sorry, Arslan, I was a bit distracted. Can you repeat the question?
Cement prices have declined significantly during last 2 and 5 months. At what level they will sustain? What's your outlook on cement prices?
So the cement prices that stand as of today, I think they should gradually start improving from here once the demand picks up. So I see an improvement from here, both in especially in the north.
Can you please provide breakup of other income second quarter on both consolidated and unconsolidated level?
So other income primarily includes, if you are talking about standalone, it includes only mutual fund income on cash surplus funds and dividend income. And as far as the dividend income is concerned, I think Arsalan, in the first half of the year, it's only LMC's dividend, right?
MC and LCIs.
LMC and LCI dividend. Can you share the numbers?
LCI was 1.7 billion, and LMC was 1.4 billion.
Okay, so there you go. And apart from that, rest of everything on a consolidated basis as well as on a standalone basis, the rest of the number is from banking, I would say, on the cash surplus.
When do you see cement prices trend reverse in a positive way?
As soon as the demand pattern starts changing towards positive, which I think will take some time because the impact of decrease in interest rates and public sector spending will take a couple of more months.
Realized prices that we have already mentioned,
Sorry, say that again.
and realized coal prices that you have already mentioned. Realized coal prices.
Yeah, so I mentioned, right? I didn't share the
Yes,
coal prices. So the coal prices are for the first quarter, that's 37,000 rupees, and for the second quarter, that's 35,000 rupees.
what was it? Yes. How will company expect profitability and margin on standalone basis? Cement prices are coming down.
So we feel because you have to look at everything in relative form, right? So if you're comparing all cement companies, uh, our most of our capacity is new, especially in the north. So we use the lowest amount of coal per ton of cement. Then we ours is the highest percentage contribution in form of renewable energy, at least as far as the bigger manufacturers are concerned. So we feel that our cost of production is quite competitive, and because of our large scale, our fixed costs are in control. They are lower per ton as compared to competition. So even if prices continue to drop, we will inshallah be on the higher side of the percentile in terms of how much margin the industry is earning.
Company has strong liquidity position and cash flow generation. Can we have guidance on how company plans to deploy that liquidity?
So at any given point in time, we are evaluating several strategic projects, and you've seen the result of those strategic projects and evaluation over the course of last couple of years, where we've diversified into multiple sectors. And there are a lot of projects in the pipeline, given the cash surplus that we have. And once we have anything concrete, we will share it with you all.
What sectors are you exploring in terms of further business expansion? Are you planning to expand in cement, renewable, any other sectors?
Uh, I would skip that question.
What was the thinking behind the stock split? What will be the future impact on this decision?
So I think stock split for Pakistan, it's a relatively new thing, but in fact, it's not even new thing. We did the study. I think now we are in the recent history, we are the fifth one to do the stock split. But yes, maybe in terms of market capitalization, we are the largest company to do this. And I've shared earlier in the this call that the purpose of the stock split was to increase liquidity. I would like to, if anybody has any different views, you can only on the stock split. I would like to hear any comments if any analyst has anything to say. If it was a good decision, it was a bad decision. How does the analyst community see it? I'd give the mic to you.
When will the cement, will the expansion of clinker plant in Iraq to come online?
So one is in the 6 months. I think that is in our director's report. So I would not want to make a mistake in selecting the exact dates. Arsalan, that is in our director's report, right?
Yes, that's in our director reports. It's second half FY25. So in the next 6 months.
Okay. So Arsalan, I mean, would anybody like to give their comments on the stock split? Because that would be interesting to hear because, we are also here to learn. We are only the fifth company that has ever done the stock split in Pakistan.
I don't think, sir, anybody has raised their hand for the stock split.
I can see Mr. Mukeet Naeem.
So I'm
If,
unmuting him.
only
Mukeet,
if
please
you have
unmute yourself.
anything to say about stock split, and I can see Mr. Suleiman Mania also.
जी सर अस्सलाम वालेकुम अस्सलाम वालेकुम
Mukeet,
Ji,
Mukeet,
Walaikum Salam. So we would like to hear your views about the stock split.
जी सर स्टॉक स्प्लिट का तो आई थिंक अच्छा ही डिसीजन था और इस पे मेरा कोई डिफरेंट व्यू नहीं है फ्रॉम व्हाट यू सेड अर्लियर जस्ट वांटेड टू आस्क अदर डिफरेंट क्वेश्चंस इफ यू मे अलाउ
चलें पूछ लें.
तो सर सीमेंट प्राइसेस पे आपने थोड़ा व्यू शेयर किया उसको मैं थोड़ा अगर क्वांटिटेटिव टर्म में आपसे जानना चाहूँ कि सीमेंट प्राइसेस का नॉर्थ में स्पेशली पीक क्या लगा था और अभी करंटली क्या प्राइसेस है एंड बेस्ड ऑन दीज प्राइसेस ट्रेंड जो आपने बताया आपकी रिटेंशन 16,000 पर टन थी पहले और दूसरे क्वार्टर में अब वो इमीडिएट यानी कि थर्ड और फोर्थ क्वार्टर में हम कितना ड्रॉप देख सकते हैं रिटेंशन में इस पे एक थोड़ा कमेंट कर दें प्लीज़
यार दैट्स डिफिकल्ट टू से कि आगे कितना ड्रॉप होगा बिकॉज अभी सप्लाई का प्रेशर भी है, डिमांड की तरफ से भी सपोर्ट नहीं है. सो द प्राइसेस सिचुएशन इज वेरी फ्लूइड राइट नाउ. एंड जो आपको रिटेल प्राइसेस तो पब्लिश होती हैं पीबीएस से वीक ऑन वीक, यू कैन सी द ट्रेंड दैट इज ड्रॉपिंग वीक ऑन वीक. बट आई थिंक ओवर ड्यूरिंग दी जो अगर मैं पी उसके उसके अप्स एंड डाउन्स को मिलाऊं तो क्लियरली द प्राइसेस have come down by around I think 50 rupees a bag in the recent past. तो अगर हाई से मैं देखूं तो they've come down subsequent to the end of the quarter by 50 rupees a bag.
ऑल राइट अच्छा सर दूसरा जो पावर सेगमेंट है आपका लकी इलेक्ट्रिक का प्लांट उस पे व्यू चाहिए था आपसे वो ये कि रिसेंटली गवर्नमेंट्स ने काफ़ी पावर प्लांट्स को के साथ एग्रीमेंट्स जो हैं वो रिवाइज डाउन किए हैं तो इज़ देयर एनीथिंग पर्टेनिंग टू लकी इलेक्ट्रिक पावर हैव दे अप्रोच्ड यू और कैन वी सी एनी रिडक्शन इन आरओई or any development related to Lucky Electric Power Plant since it's a major contributor to your earnings?
So मुकीत उस पे वैसे कोई डेवलपमेंट नहीं है बिकॉज व्हाट दे आर डूइंग इज दैट दे आर ग्रेजुअली पिकिंग अप power plants in the order of the policy that applies to them. But I would request that you please don't write anything on that because अभी ये काफी sensitive subject है. So उस पे silent ही रहें तो बेहतर है please.
ऑल राइट तो सर वन लास्ट थिंग कोल प्राइसेस पे अगर आप व्यू दे दें आपने बताया सेकंड क्वार्टर में कोई 2,000 से ड्रॉप हुई थी तीसरा क्वार्टर अब तक की प्राइसेस पे आप किस तरह देख रहे हैं
यस सो जो हमारी लास्ट क्वार्टर की जो सेकंड क्वार्टर की मैंने आपको कॉस्ट बताई है ना, विच इज
35,000
आई सेड, हाँ जी. सो आई थिंक गिव एंड टेक अब ये यही रहेगा. आई मीन आई डोंट सी एनी सिग्निफिकेंट चेंज. अभी ऐसा कोई वेरिएबल नजर नहीं आ रहा जिसकी वजह से ज्यादा प्राइसेस ऊपर चली जाए या नीचे हो जाए.
ठीक है सर ऑल राइट थैंक यू सो मच सर
थैंक यू. ओनली ऑन द स्टॉक स्प्लिट प्लीज. अगर किसी के कमेंट्स है, सुलेमान को अनम्यूट कर दें.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Thank you for this presentation, sir. The question. I mean, obviously, it's a great decision to finally look at shareholder value. But from an investor perspective, you guys did a buyback which reduced your free float effectively, right? And now obviously, you don't want to increase the free float, but if you want to increase the tradability of the shares, you are doing a stock split. So that is kind of like neither here nor there. I mean, for long-term investors' perspective, it's just like people don't understand that concept so far. This is my understanding. It's just kind of like confused thinking, or maybe the valuations were such that allowed you to do the buyback, but then you shouldn't have done the buyback, or you shouldn't have canceled the shares effectively. It should have potentially been used as treasury stock for the company to sell later. That would have been a better strategy at that time. This is just my 2 cents about it. Coming to the stock split, I believe that LCI is a perfect candidate to actually have this rather than Lucky. Lucky is still slightly more liquid, but LCI, which was ICI, अगर आप देखें उसमें there's zero liquidity in the share. So let's say if the management believes that they don't want to sell their holding, this is, I think, fundamentally a better play on a stock split perspective. That's my view. Last question, sir. कि आप लोगों का भी जो लकी इलेक्ट्रिक है उसकी what percentage is it operating at right now?
Lucky Electric, क्या कहते हैं सुलेमान, it's at a very low percentage right now, but जो उसका capacity है वो आपको पता है, वो availability पे मिलती है. But again, I'm not talking about a lot about Lucky Electric these days because वो power sector
Sure.
काफी sensitive हुआ है.
ठीक है. Thank you, Adil bhai.
जी,
Thanks a lot, sir. Okay, bye.
जी. Any more questions other than stock split? So just Suleiman ने एक point कहा कि जी first you did a buyback and then you did a stock split. So usme our thinking was that when we did the buyback, the price, our average buyback price was 550 rupees, right? So had the price remained the same, maybe we would have done a third buyback. But because the price had increased, so buyback was out of question. And the only thing we could the big thing that we could do for the shareholders was a stock split. I mean, mathematically I understand it does not mean anything, but traditionally, even in the mature markets in the West, stock splits is used to increase your market cap. So I think that was our main intention. जी अरसलान. अरसलान नहीं, आप म्यूट पे.
Can you please specify the prices of local and Afghan coal?
यार वो उसमें बड़ा मसला है, वो प्राइसेस फ्लक्चुएट करती हैं, फिर हम प्राइसेस आपको बता देते हैं तो वो आप लिखते हैं, उससे काफ़ी कंफ्यूजन हो जाती है मार्केट में. सो आपको मैं बस सिर्फ जो एवरेज बताया है वही बता सकता हूँ.
Any update on how Lucky's Iraq and Congo businesses are doing, and what's happening on the front of excess liquidity is being generated from them?
So I mean, mashallah, say all three locations. I mean, there is some challenges on the security front going on in Congo for the last couple of weeks, I would say. But apart from that, all our plants are operating at their maximum capacity. In terms of demand, that those markets are doing well. In terms of pricing, then the efficiency measures that we've taken in those locations in terms of optimizing the fuel mix, moving from the costly fuel like furnace oil to gas and stuff like that. So the profitability is very high, and if you see our consolidated financials, there is a number of around PKR 9 billion, right, Arsalan?
Yes, sir.
The 9 billion. So that I mean, majority of that number is obviously coming from foreign operations that's disclosed there in the financial statements. So these mashallah, the foreign operations continue to perform well, and that's the other reason why we are constantly adding new capacities in each location.
I have received few comments. As a retail investor, it is an excellent decision for me. I think stock split will unlock valuation for the company.
Okay.
Another question: any plan to increase dividend payment? Specific Cement is leading the sector in terms of dividend.
No, so I mean, obviously, I mean, stock split is a different decision. Dividend is for at least our company, it's more of a kind of an annual thing. And I mean, I don't see any major reason why the trend of dividends that we've continued to pay that would change. But let's wait for the annual meeting for that.
What's the capacity utilization of Congo and Iraq plants?
So all plants are like 90 to 95% plus, all foreign operations.
Retention on export to US is higher than any other countries. Lucky currently exporting to US, and what's the retention price if we export to US?
So I don't know. There's a lot of excitement around when you export to these destinations like US or any other Western countries. What you need to understand is that, for example, the US, the price would be higher, but our net back would be impacted by the relevant freight, right? So the prices that we tell you, in fact I just quoted a while ago, $41 for cement and $30 for clinker. These are the average prices that you get in these locations when you export.
Pokit would like to share his view on stock split only. He is
Sure.
requesting me to mute.
जी
Sure.
सर, आई थिंक जो स्टॉक स्प्लिट आपने किया है दिस इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम व्हाट कंपनीज वर डूइंग अर्लियर बोनस शेयर्स। तो बोनस शेयर्स में इफेक्टिवली ये हो रहा था कि टैक्स लग रहा था। ऑल्दो उसका भी सिमिलर ट्रीटमेंट यही हो रहा था कि अगर कोई हायर प्राइस का शेयर है तो उसकी प्राइस डिवाइड हो जाती थी इनटू बोनस अनाउंसमेंट। बट आई थिंक स्टॉक स्प्लिट इज़ अ गुड थिंग। इससे आप टैक्स से भी सेव हो जाते हो और टिल द टाइम गवर्नमेंट इस एक्टिविटी पे टैक्स नहीं लगाती। और लकी सीमेंट जैसी कंपनी जो कि वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट कंपनी है उसने स्टॉक स्प्लिट किया है। आई थिंक अच्छा ट्रेंड सेट किया है फॉर अदर कंपनीज टू डू द सेम थिंग। दैट्स माय व्यू।
So, Mukit, my fear is exactly as what you said. I mean, I don't see how anybody in the world can tax a stock split. But with all the types of taxes we've seen in Pakistan, there can be, anything can happen. But technically, a stock split cannot be taxed because there has to be some economic rationale of the activity that you're doing, which is to be taxed, right? So bonus is still considered a distribution, so that they have a ground to tax that. But stock split, I mean, because in countries you also have reverse stock split, right? So if they were to
राइट।
tax stock split, then what would they do when you reverse that stock split? Would they give a tax credit to the shareholders? सो अल्लाह करेगा ऐसी नौबत नहीं आएगी, स्टॉक स्प्लिट पे टैक्स नहीं लगना चाहिए.
होपफुली इंशाल्लाह, होपफुली।
Thank
थैंक
you,
यू।
Mukeet. Could you please shed some light on RB coal prices outlook, specifically given the tariff imposition from US and given the fact that the RB price is hovering around US $100?
Yeah, so there's been no change in that, and those we still have to see the implementation of those tariff decisions. What impact does it have on US itself, and whether it's sustainable for the US or not? Because transitioning from a importing country to suddenly a manufacturing country, that cannot happen overnight. So, I mean, I'm not sure whether it will have a very significant impact and very soon.
What's the Pakistan cement demand outlook for second half and FY26?
Sorry, cement outlook for?
Second half FY26.
Okay, so the year we are in right now, right?
Yes, second half is the year and FY26 is the
Ah,
year.
okay. So, I mean, like I said, the problem with this half is that we are expecting recovery in demand due to drop in interest rates, but at the same time, there are seasonal implications. There, like I mentioned, there are 2 Eids and 1 Ramzan. And then there's also another thing, because the prices are lower, so the cement demand can catch up. So I see, the all these factors will cancel off, and the cement demand should remain stable as it is, for the, let's say, last 1 or 2 months.
Sir, Salim Sami wants to have some views on stock split.
Hello,
Salim?
Assalamualaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes.
सर जस्ट टू बी क्लियर रिगार्डिंग द स्टॉक स्प्लिट, मुझे कंफर्म करना था कि इसमें टैक्स सेविंग अराउंड 15-16 अरब की हुई है फॉर द माइनॉरिटी शेयर होल्डर्स, अगर आप कंफर्म कर दें वर्किंग।
नहीं, मैं समझना चाहूंगा इसमें टैक्स सेविंग कैसे होगी।
सर अराउंड मतलब अगर आप बोनस शेयर्स इशू करते तो उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से मैं देख रहा था कि उसकी जगह आपने अगर स्टॉक स्प्लिट किया तो उसमें कितनी परसेंट जो सेविंग्स आई है बोनस शेयर ना इशू करके, तो वो अराउंड 15 अरब के आसपास बननी थी मेरे हिसाब से।
हाँ, so bonus is taxed at 5%, I recall. हाँ, अगर आप उस तरीके से देखें कि हम इतना बड़ा बोनस इशू कर देते कि हमारी शेयर कैपिटल 5 से मल्टीप्लाई हो जाती, ऑनेस्टली आई डिडंट थिंक दैट वे, बट यस, तो उसके लिए आपको करना ये होगा कि क्या कहते हैं 293 मिलियन इंटू, अगर मैं हमारी प्राइस करूं, into 0.05, so yes, that's a saving of 20 billion rupees. मैंने भी नहीं रियलाइज किया था ये
कैलकुलेशन है, बिकॉज
थैंक यू फॉर
सर ये गलत कैलकुलेशन है, बिकॉज स्टॉक स्प्लिट में तो शेयर प्राइस भी तो कम हो रही है ना इफेक्टिवली। बोनस में तो आपकी पार वैल्यू तो 10 रुपीज रह रही है ना। सो बोनस में तो आपके रिजर्व्स इफेक्टिवली, जो रिजर्व्स हैं वो आप कैपिटलाइज, जो कैपिटलाइज रिजर्व्स हैं उनको आप कम कर रहे हैं ना, जब आप बोनस देते हैं। यहाँ पे स्टॉक स्प्लिट में तो ये नहीं होता। सो दिस इज, आई डोंट थिंक दिस इज राइट वे टू सी इट।
सुलेमान, वो तो अकाउंटिंग है ना यार। आई वॉज नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग कि आप वो मेरा वाला अकाउंटिंग वाला जवाब आप देंगे।
No, but I'm just saying from an analyst perspective that there is no tax saving per se, because the underlying this is my understanding. The underlying value of the share price is not because जब companies bonus देती हैं उनका par same रहता है, ठीक है, 10 रुपीज रहता है। अब आपका par तो कम हो गया है ना, so I mean this is not like for like comparison. This is my perspective.
But what's the
So
disadvantage
tax
or
saving कुछ भी नहीं होता।
difference? What's the difference in जब पार हमारा कम हो गया और अगर हम बोनस देते और पार कम ना होता, तो इकोनॉमिक वैल्यू में क्या फर्क है?
No. So the question is कि बोनस शेयर्स पे जो टैक्स लग रहा है अभी, द एनालिस्ट मेंशन कि वो सेविंग है, बट बोनस के ऊपर अगर कोई, जैसे कोई कंपनी ने बोनस दे दिया तो उसने जो उसको टैक्स देना है, ऑब्वियसली वो टैक्स देना है, बट उसके रिजर्व्स भी कम हो गए ना इफेक्टिवली। कुछ कंपनीज तो इसलिए टैक्स बोनस, जैसे मारी का एग्जांपल ले लें, मारी इज गिवन सच अ ह्यूज बोनस प्रिज्यूमेबली बिकॉज इट थिंक्स दैट इन द फ्यूचर देयर कैन बी अ टैक्स ऑन रिजर्व्स। अगर कल सुबह वापस से गवर्नमेंट वो रीइंस्टेट कर देती है टैक्स ऑन रिजर्व्स, लेट्स से, तो देयर इज अ लाइक्लीहुड के कुछ कंपनीज के ऊपर इम्पैक्ट आ जाए ना। जिन्होंने बोनस दे दिया उनके ऊपर इम्पैक्ट ऑब्वियसली उस तरीके से कम आएगा, बट आपके ऊपर तो न्यूट्रल है ना आपके लिए ट्रांजैक्शन। दिस इज माय थॉट प्रोसेस।
ठीक 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 है अरसलान, इफ और कोई बड़े क्वेश्चंस नहीं है तो आई थिंक
I don't have any other questions.
Hello, sir.
ओके ओके ओके। थैंक यू एवरीवन फॉर ज्वाइनिंग। थैंक यू। अल्लाह हाफिज।